Hello, this is episode 6 of Digging with Deb. And what we're going to go over today is planting schedules. When you plant what? So get out a piece of paper and write down some notes to yourself, or play the video over again. It doesn't matter, I suppose. So here's what the deal is. There's some plants that just love to live in the cold weather. In fact, they don't like to grow in the middle of the summer. They will bolt, they will go to seed. And other plants absolutely cannot stand the cold and don't even try it. And even if it's not frosting, they will die. So let's go over some of the differences. And if you have some questions for me about different plants that you're thinking about growing, send me an email or a message, and I'll get it, and I'll answer the questions potentially on another episode. So here's the deal. Early plants. We're actually at the end of early planting. Some of the plants that like really early planting, they don't mind being cold. In fact, they don't even mind getting snowed on, are peas, spinach, arugula, the coles, the cabbage, the broccoli, the Brussels sprouts. Now you can grow all of this stuff in warmer weather, but they really, really don't mind the cold. So that's why I planted the peas so early. And I will say my peas haven't grown very much because the weather has been pretty drastic. That's why I haven't had any episodes, because I thought I would have some better weather so I could go outside and do some things out there. No such luck. So that's why I'm sitting here in my house, nice and warm, out of the weather, out of the wind, and going over this stuff with you. So peas and like that are really early plants. Some other plants that do not mind being planted early would be onions. It would be radishes. There's lots of different kinds of radishes. Plant several different kinds of radishes. You'll be so thrilled. They actually have a little different flavor, as well as they different looks. So try different ones. Try something out of your norm, not just the round red ones. There's icicle ones, which are white and long and skinny. Those are the ones they like in France, I guess. So anyhow, try some of that stuff, some of planting the early stuff. So if you haven't planted some of the stuff that I've mentioned, plant it now. Also, the things that you plant now early, so that you can plant them in your garden, plant them in the house early so that you can plant them in the garden later, would be tomatoes. If you want to start some, I love heirloom tomatoes. They have the best flavor. They grow like crazy, but they have the best flavor when you want to make a salad or a sandwich or whatever. Heirloom tomatoes. Buy heirloom tomatoes. There's all different kinds. The yellow ones tend to be not acidy, and so if you're sensitive to that, plant the yellow tomatoes, but plant them inside now. I do not have a grow light, so I don't do that. If I'm going to plant tomato plants, I will buy them, and I'll show you that later on as we get started in the season. The next plants that you're going to plant right around the beginning of May, which we're coming up to, would be beans. Any of the beans. Kidney beans, garbanzo beans. Kidney beans you're going to just plant and let them alone and pick them when they're dry. Beans, green beans, wax beans, lima beans, all of those. You're going to plant them right around the 1st of May. And if you want to plant a second batch, you would plant it approximately 2 weeks later, middle of May. And so I'm giving you the very earliest start. If you want to plant them up to June, you can. You can. But the earliest planting dates would be May, early May. Then comes along middle of May. Middle of May, you might want to consider planting another batch of beans, and that's when I start my corn. Some people plant them a little earlier. You can. I might plant some just a little early, so hopefully we'll avoid the weather and get an early crop of corn, which is always welcome. But about the middle of May is when I plant my corn. And the corn likes to have a little bit warmer soil. So about that time, it's around here, about that time is when it's the last day of frost. So corn doesn't handle frost. It'll die, at least sweet corn. You would also plant outside potentially your early tomatoes. Now I will be planting my tomatoes, my paste tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, the pear-shaped ones, plum-shaped ones. I will be planting those about the middle of May. I always like to get those in as early as I can and without stressing the plant. And so about the middle of May is when you would plant, the very earliest time that you could plant your tomatoes, the very earliest time you would plant the corn. About the end of May, you might plant some of your squash, zucchini. I will probably plant my cucumbers about the same time I plant my tomatoes. So about the middle of May. But about the end of May is when I would plant my pumpkin, my winter squash, my summer squash, whatever kind that is. I like the Patapan. Look it up. It's the cutest little thing. And I like those for my summer squash. Some people like the yellow crookneck squash. Some people like zucchini. Whatever it is, plant it about the end of May. And then about that time, you're going to be finished with your peas, and you can plant something else, a second batch of radishes in the spot where the peas were. So we'll be talking about that more, and you'll see me doing this as we go along through the season. And you can plant some more lettuce and stuff. Lettuce doesn't matter if you plant it whenever. But some of the other stuff is a little touchy. So I wanted to go over that with you. If you have any questions, I just thought of something. Peppers, green peppers, hot peppers. Plant them also about the same time you plant your tomatoes. In fact, they're a little touchy. So if you get them a little bit later in May, they'll be happy. They like warm weather. They really do. And any of the peppers, I plant banana peppers because I like to fry those up with my Patapan squash and with some onions. Great from the garden. And then I plant also some green peppers, and I also plant some salsa peppers because my husband loves his salsa. Anytime you want to plant the herbs, you can plant them pretty much at any time. I have some basil that I'm ready to stick in the garden, and I am going to plant some cilantro also. I always plant a few flowers to bring in pollinators, and also just for fun, because I like flowers. And I like to bring them in the house and make a little clumsy arrangement on my table. But I hope I've answered a few questions. If I'm a little bit rambling, that's because I don't have any notes in front of me and I'm doing this all from my memory. So if I am not real clear, again, send me a message, nice, be kind, and I'll answer it. Thank you. Bye-bye.